Hello everyone, welcome back. I'm taking you on a ride across the country today. We just left Oregon, where I packed everything from storage into the Penske truck, which honestly felt like a moving day party. And the same day I started driving. That first day nearly wiped me out. By the time we stopped, I was so tired. I set up my tent right in the parking lot, and John pitched his too. Looked like we started our own little campground right off the highway. The next morning, I woke up next to the tree of life behind my tent, and it got all of us, me, John, and even poor Nemo, covered in a sticky resin. It felt like we were a team all cuffed up in nature's little mess together. But honestly, it felt like nature was speaking to me with its own medicine. I could tell it knew I needed it, and I made sure I take some of the resin with me. As I drove through more of a desert, the landscape itself wasn't very impressive, just endless stretches of sand and rocks. But the sky stole my attention. It was huge, wide, and full of movement, and somehow it felt alive. The clouds reminded me of my childhood, when I would lie on the grass for hours, imagining stories and characters, making up my own little fairy tales. Sometimes I'd see dragons, castles, or faraway kingdoms, and other times just funny shapes that made me laugh. Watching the sky now while I'm driving, I felt that same sense of wonder. Even in the emptiness of the desert, it felt like the sky was telling me a story. And I couldn't help but smile and remember how much I loved just dreaming.
There's a message in the world. No reason for you to be.
So when I stopped at the rest area in Idaho to give my pets a break, my cat suddenly panicked. In just a second, she pushed carrier door open and bolted into the bushes with her leash and harness on. My heart dropped as she vanished. That was the end of the driving for me. I immediately called 911, begging for help to rescue my cat. When the police arrived, they told me I could set up my tent and wait until she calmed down and come back to me. Of course, this caused an argument with John driver, who just wanted to keep moving. But I wasn't giving up on her. I had to save my cat. At this point, I was terrified and completely exhausted. But I never even thought about giving up on her because I knew she was counting on me. Every day and night, I call her name and search the bushes, hoping for even a glimpse. I put up lost cat posters all over the rest stop and contacted local rescue groups who promised to help with traps. Before leaving, I set myself a goal to place 50 cups of water throughout the bushes so that anywhere she stops, she would have something to drink and wouldn't die from dehydration. It was exhausting, but I couldn't stop. Every cup, every step, every call was a promise that I wouldn't abandon her. Even in the fear and uncertainty, I kept pushing forward, checking every hidden spot, calling her name again and again. She was worth every second of the effort. This wasn't just a cat. She was someone I loved, and I had to do everything I could to bring her home. Once I was sure the rescue people were motivated to find my cat, I finally continued driving. I remember stopping in Utah thinking about her. Would they find my Dory? What would happen? Nemo, my dog, suddenly fell into sadness too and even stopped eating. It was very hard for him. Somehow, I felt deep down that my love was stronger than anything and that love would bring her back. I even remembered my mom calling from Ukraine in tears, telling me, "Svetlana, she will come back to you. You will see." Hearing this was like a medicine for my heart. As I was driving from state to state, I kept thinking about my life. What would happen when I reached my final destination? How would my life turn out, and what was I going to do? It was a mix of emotions, and I kept worrying, will I ever see my cat again? I thought about people, about everything I had been through. And then, as I entered Nebraska, I suddenly saw a rainbow in the distance. It was so beautiful, like a clear message that the universe was with me, that I wasn't forgotten. It felt like God was guiding me on this journey, preparing something I could never have imagined. The rainbow was a pure, strong confirmation, a promise. And when I saw it, I felt complete peace and a sense of light within me. Kansas City.
Follow I-70 East, US 40 East for 221 miles.
After spending one last night at a campground on this long trip, I finally arrived in the western North Carolina mountains. I was back on my own property in the forest at last. But just as the driver was turning into my driveway, the truck got stuck, blocking the public road. It felt like one more challenge waiting for me right at the finish line. Find out what happened next in my next video. Bye for now and thanks for watching.